Origins of Enchantress. Amora the Enchantress, an Asgardian goddess and immensely powerful sorcerer. Being backed by years of experience, she is one of Thor's greatest and most ruthless foes because of her immense power, and because he is her love interest. With unknown parentage, Amora was born in Asgard, and at a young age, she began to learn the ways of magic as an apprentice of Karnilla. However, she would soon be banished for being too undisciplined. Amora quickly decided to train herself in the ways of magic by seducing other sorcerers, forcing them to reveal their ancient secrets to her. In time, Amora became one of the most powerful sorceresses in all of Asgard. She was also very adept in the use of manipulation and charm to get her way. The gods of Asgard have repeated their lives endlessly through the ages. They have lived through Ragnarok countless times with their roles and personalities shifting slightly during each retelling of their story. Amora has been known as Freya, Iduna, Mardal, and Gufn, though even in these iterations she always retains her core attributes: control of powerful magic and unparalleled beauty. In Ages of Thunder, which tells the story of a long-past cycle, Amora is known as Iduna, the goddess tasked with an immensely important task of collecting the golden apples which grew from Yggdrasil, the life tree. The golden apples were consumed by the Asgardians in order to maintain their youth and power. The apples would only grow if Iduna were present, and only she, the essence of feminine perfection, could remove them, unspoiled, from the tree. During this time, the Enchantress was the object of desire for many. Her beauty caused her to be sought after by a stonemason who was assigned to repair the great wall which surrounded Asgard after an attack by the frost giants. In a second story of the same cycle, a lost and wandering Loki bargains the Enchantress to the Frost King so that he may find his way to the Bifrost Bridge and back to Asgard. After this deal is struck and the Asgardians are reminded that only the Enchantress can retrieve the gold apples that sustain their power and vitality, the frost giant is slain by Thor, thus allowing the goddess to return to her garden. Amora also obtained the mythical story that centered around the Nordic goddess Freya, where she gave herself to 3 dwarves in order to obtain an exquisite jeweled necklace that they had created. It was also noted during these stories, that Amora had many lovers and would openly reject Odin, by refusing to bed with him. This caused him to violently take her newly acquired necklace while also informing her that she had defiled herself when she gave her body to the dwarves. Out of humiliation and anger, Amora cast a spell which caused the dead on earth to rise and torture humanity, forcing Thor to intervene and defeat the newly risen army of the dead. After Amora later appeared to return to her villainous ways after attacked Thor when he was teleported to her location. Amora continued to unleash a barrage of spells against the thunder god, while she also chastised his, Loki's, and Odin's arrogant behavior. Thor initially refused to even listen to the Enchantress, calling her a liar as he charged forth to attack her. Though he nearly succeeded, Amora unleashed a spell powerful enough to halt the god of thunder, and then continued to scold him. It was then that Thor began to heed Amora's word, when she claimed that she, and now Thor himself, were trapped in this realm due to Asgard's placement on Earth. She explained that this was the main cause for their dilemma since, Hela, goddess of death, had significantly grown in power and would no longer allow them to leave. When Hela appeared, Thor quickly engaged in her in battle but was nearly defeated until Amora intervened, teleporting him away. Hela then turned her wrath toward the Enchantress and the two engaged in their own battle. When Amora was nearly defeated, Hela revealed the source of her new-found strength, the Twilight Sword, before unleashing its full power on the Enchantress. When Thor engages Hela in one final battle and is nearly defeated, Amora again intervenes to save the Thunder God by teleporting him to the location of his hammer Mjolnir. Amora agrees to put aside her problems with Thor, opting to continue assisting him instead. After she teleports both herself and Thor to the battlefield, Amora unleashes a devastating spell against Hela, allowing Thor to unleash his power upon the death goddess. When Hela is finally defeated, Thor uses the Twilight Sword to return the realms to the state in which they were before Hela had intervened. Amora then offers to teleport the three Avengers back to Earth, and jokingly asks for the Twilight Sword as payment. Amora does not return to Asgard with Thor, though he noted that her assistance would not be forgotten. Asgardia. Amora later returns on Earth in Oklahoma with Dr. Donald Blake. She manipulates him into making a pact that he believes will return some of the former glory, that he bitterly misses, when his body was used as a host for Thor. She later decapitates Blake, using his blood and life energy to create a twisted new god. She casts a spell to keep Blake's head alive, forcing him to watch the process. Amora and her new creation attempt to invade Asgard and confront the All-Mother, but they are ultimately defeated and banished from the realm. Joining the Sisterhood, or returned to life and recreated Asgard on Earth, Loki manipulated him into awaking every Asgardian, including his enemies, with Amora being among them. Unlike many of her brethren, Amora did not immediately return to Asgard and instead began to manipulate reality by attacking the World Tree, Yggdrasil, in order to resurrect Scourge and ultimately end her loneliness as she finally realized how much he meant to her. She was ultimately thwarted by Thor, Loki, and Balder, who convinced her that she was not only hurting the other 9 worlds with her magic, but also dishonoring the death of Scourge by resurrecting and releasing him from Valhalla. Amora was recently freed from the Odin Force barrier, which kept her trapped and powerless in an isolated cabin in Norway, by Lady Deathstrike and Typhoid Mary. The duo were searching for fragments of a meteor which Archaea, Sublime's younger sister, had used to reach Earth. The trio then decide to form a new sisterhood of mutants and head to Dubai, where Yuriko's friend, Raiko, has set up a new body shop. However, Raiko makes contact with the Archaea fragment from Norway and becomes her new host. Yuriko then bargains with Archaea for power upgrades in exchange for their service. Amora's upgrade gives her back the powers, previously been suppressed, which allows her to go toe-to-toe with M when she attacks. Monet finds herself outnumbered and is quickly defeated by Amora, who grabs her from behind and chokes the mutant, breaking her neck and killing her. M is brought back to life shortly afterwards. The new sisterhood flees Dubai on foot into the desert, where Ana Cortez, the host for the Deathstrike consciousness, begins to see the reality of life as a supervillain, and Amora points out that they are now servants of Archaea. Archaea then sends Yuriko, Ana and Amora to a bank in New York with a secret chamber in the back that is holding Seleni's soul bound to the air molecules in the room. Amora then recombines the atoms and brings her back from the dead. Archaea arrives and Selene pledges her service to her before the group leaves for Japan to locate the sisterhood's next recruit, Madeline Pryor. Shortly after Madeline and Selene joined the group, the sisterhood disbanded. They were quickly defeated by Storm's X-Men. Selene and Madeline did not fight. Storm allowed them to leave as they hadn't done anything wrong yet. Amora was given a humiliating beatdown at the hands of the returned Monet, and left the sisterhood. Powers. The Enchantress possesses the conventional attributes of an Asgardian goddess, as well as a mastery over certain sorceress disciplines. Her abilities include superhuman strength — she can lift roughly 25 tons, enhanced speed, durability, agility, reflexes, and stamina. Amora's physiology also grants her an extremely long lifespan, as well as a regenerative healing factor. While she cannot regrow organs or limbs, she is immune to all known earthly diseases and infections. Sorcery. The Enchantress' magical powers are among the most powerful of all Asgardians. Her skill is high enough to rank her among the top 20 magical practitioners in all of Asgard. She can utilize enough power, even in the earthly realm, to cloud the sight of Agamotto through Doctor Strange's orb, and has bested Nightmare in his own dimension. The Enchantress' powers derive from two primary sources: her innate capacity to manipulate ambient Asgardian magical energy, and her acquired knowledge of Asgardian spells and enchantments. She can use her sorcery to generate powerful blasts of concussive force, heat, or light. She can also alter her appearance, taking the shape of other humanoid beings, or teleport herself and others across great distances. The Enchantress has used her mystical prowess to enhance her natural beauty and allure so that both men and women, mortal or otherwise, are overwhelmed with desire for her. She has enchanted her lips so that a single kiss is sufficient to make virtually any man a slave to her will for about a week. Thanks to her powers, Amora was able to seduce the majority of Asgard's most experienced mystical practitioners to learn their secrets. Subsequent kisses have enabled her to dominate someone's will indefinitely. Her knowledge of arcane lore enables her to cast spells with a variety of specific effects. The many spells she has employed include telepathy, illusion casting, paralysis, matter energy deflection, interdimensional travel, time control, sleep induction, and elemental conversion. Once, at the maximum peak of her magic, Amora's transmutation enchantment upon the Black Knight changed him into a statue, and not even Doctor Strange could break the enchantment for some time.